Constitutional Convention Proposal. 1. Executive and AFP Authority. Transfer the authority of the Armed Forces of the Philippines Commanding-in-Chief from the executive branch to the Office of the Supreme Court Judiciary. 2. Appointment system reform. Abolish election system for all government positions by creating Board of Directors office appointments. Board of Directors eligibility. Must be at least 50 years old. Hold a doctorate or master's degree in public administration, political science, or Philippine law. Have at least 20 years of professional experience in governance, law, or public service. Must not have any prior record of corruption or criminal conviction. The Board of Directors office are composed of 7 best lawyers of equal ranks under the watch of the Judiciary's National Court and unidentified by the public. 1. Will serve as the sole appointing body for the President and 3 working Vice Presidents. 2. Will closely guard the entire archipelago by closely monitoring all violations of orders committed on time of all appointed officials of the executive line. Therefore, creation of hundreds of commissioned men and women of all walks of life who doesn't know each other as discreet reporters nationwide in real time, basis for accurate data. Each VP will represent one of the Philippines' major regions, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. President and working Vice President's eligibility must be at least 45 years old. Hold a master's degree in Philippine law, public administration, or regional development. Have at least 15 years of experience in leadership roles within their region. Be a member of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, or have equivalent public service credentials. No prior corruption or criminal record. 3. LGU appointments and oversight. Each regional VP will accept secret nominations and appoint all local government unit heads. LGU head eligibility. Must be at least 40 years old. Hold a bachelor's degree in a relevant field. Have at least 10 years of work experience in their local area. No prior record of corruption. Mayors will appoint all LGU subordinates up to the barangay level. Barangay level eligibility. Barangay captains and officials must be at least 35 years old. Have a minimum of a college degree or equivalent community leadership experience. Be a resident of the barangay for at least 5 years. Barangay captains may recommend appointments for barangay officials, including themselves. There will be no term limits for any position, but appointees are subject to demotion for any violation of duties. Removal from service will be streamlined for all government employees, as all roles will be appointed rather than elected. 4. Executive performance monitoring. Executive branch performance will be discreetly monitored by a BOD national office. Monitoring network requirements. Reporters must be at least 30 years old. Have no prior political affiliation. Be respected members of their communities. Undergo background checks by the judiciary. A nationwide network of commissioned, discreet reporters from all walks of life will conduct monitoring. Reporters will not know each other's identities. The Supreme Court Judiciary will maintain records of all reporters' identities. Even the structure and ranks of the BOD's board members will be confidential, known only to the judiciary. 5. Legislative branch under regional vice presidents. Congress will be composed of 24 senators total. Each regional VP will appoint 8 senators to represent their respective region. Senatorial eligibility requirements. Must be at least 45 years old. Hold a master's degree in Philippine law. Be a member of the Bar Council. Have at least 10 years of experience as a practicing lawyer or government prosecutor. No prior corruption or criminal record. The entire Senate will act independently doing their legislative job. The 3 working interests are directly focusing on their respective regions, aligns with each area's needs while Senate is vocal on national matters. Media are not allowed to interview any Senate members, but the Senate Secretary only. The House of Representatives will be abolished, as the regional senatorial structure and BOD monitoring network will ensure that the interests of all sectors and communities are accounted for. BOD's employment of hundreds to thousands commissioned men and women of all walks of life, discreetly situated in all strategic sections of the archipelago, is enough to monitor and represent the whole population. 6. Post-election era benefits. With elections eliminated, political gridlock and corruption associated with electoral processes will be addressed. 100% continuity in infrastructure projects and national development plans will be achievable. Strict eligibility criteria ensure all officials have the expertise and integrity to serve the public good. 7. Regional vice presidents and federalism. Working vice presidents will be assigned to Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This regional structure, including direct appointment of senators and LGU heads based on strict professional criteria, will facilitate a smooth transition to a federal system of government, with each region having autonomy over local matters while maintaining national unity. OVP of each region must be complete with its own cabinet-appointed secretaries to make sure that federal government attainment. The president will be seen as a mere president, but not a head of the state. The head of the state must be in office. The 7 men of the National Court of the Judiciary is the highest self-sustaining office of the land. Self-sustaining has its own internal election of leadership privately, not identified by any one but of the 2 secretaries and the military head. These secretaries of BOD and judiciaries are lawyers, to be of constant communication with the Senate Secretary via phone to maintain secrecy. The Secretary of the Senate can be interviewed by media and the voice authorized to talk about updates. No media are allowed to talk or meet the president. An executive secretary and the Senate secretary can be reached by media. Senate can be seen as legislature as of today and can be visible by media, but they are not allowed to roam around. Once they are in office, these officials are to stay inside the Senate building with respected wife only. No other relatives are allowed inside the building. They are on duty until they demand break for a rest. Nitrogen monoxide term limit, but they can request for a leave to be approved by the judiciary. The 3 OVPs must submit to judiciary office potential replacing or reserve senators to be appointed in case of absence of those appointed ones. Senators will enjoy exceptionally good salaries, therefore they must show maximum potential. No work, no pay policy. The office of the judiciary. National Court. 7 Chief Justices. Head of the state. No term limits. Automatic self-maintaining office for continuity. Military power main command. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. All oral communication in unmediated immediate settings. Face-to-face conversations. Live unrecorded speeches, casual discussions, and spoken messages between people in direct contact. No restrictions apply even when content is critical of government, leaders, policies, institutions, or individuals. B. Digital expression. All content shared through electronic platforms and digital formats, posts, videos, live streams, memes, comments, and messages on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, websites, blogs, and social media. No restrictions apply, no censorship, bans, or penalties for any digital content, regardless of its message. C. Mediated and written expression. All forms of recorded, written, or created content, books, newspapers, pamphlets, podcasts, radio TV broadcasts, emails, texts, art, music, poetry, and film. No restrictions apply. Full protection for all works and communications. 2. Limited restrictions for physical expression. Physical expression is protected unless it involves tangible acts that cause harm. Permitted physical expression. Peaceful public assemblies, marches, and gatherings. Holding signs, banners, or placards. Symbolic acts that do not damage property or endanger safety. Restricted physical acts. Violence against people or animals. Burning, destroying, or defacing public or private property. Blocking emergency routes, hospitals, roads, or essential services. Throwing objects that can cause injury or damage. Any physical act that endangers public safety or violates others' rights. Important. Restrictions apply only to the harmful act itself. The message or idea behind the physical expression remains fully protected and cannot be punished. Final rule. No law shall limit, regulate, or punish non-physical expression in any form. Physical expression shall be restricted solely to prevent harm, damage, or disruption, never to silence ideas or suppress dissent.